All right, project managers, let's talk. You're looking at the new PMI certification for AI. You're hearing all the buzz, and you're probably asking yourself, is this the real deal, or just another set of letters to cram for? Well, you've definitely come to the right place.
Okay, let's just get right into it, because this is the question on everybody's mind, right? Is the certified professional in AI project management actually worth your time, your money, and all that stress? I mean, is this going to give you a real edge, or is it just another piece of industry hype? We're going to skip all the fluff here. My goal is to give you the practical, actionable advice you need to not just, understand this cert, but to walk into that exam room feeling totally confident and ready to pass on your very first try. No boring textbook theory, just what actually works. So, let's start by really breaking down what this certification is all about. Is it just a shiny new object, or does it really represent a huge shift in how we manage projects these days? Look, to win any battle, you've got to know the terrain. For this exam, that terrain is the exam domains. Think of this as your strategic map. Knowing where all the points are concentrated is absolutely the first step to creating a winning study plan. Now check this out, because this is really interesting. Look at that distribution. Domain 2, business needs, and Domain 3, data needs, together they make up 52% of the exam. That's over half your score right there. This tells you exactly where you need to be focusing your energy. See, PMI isn't just testing if you know the tech stuff. They're really testing if you can connect AI to real business value and manage the most critical asset of all, the data. Okay, so let's get to the core of it. If you really want to think with the right PMI logic for this exam, you have to understand the 7 fundamental patterns of AI. I like to think of these as the secret code to answering those really tricky situational questions correctly. We are not going to sit here and memorize dry definitions. That's the old way of studying, and it doesn't work. The key to mastering these patterns is to connect them to simple, real-world examples that you already use every single day. Honestly, this is the shortcut to making these concepts actually stick. So for each of these 7 patterns, we're going to follow a super simple 2-step process. I'll give you the official term you need to know for the exam, and then, bam, we'll immediately translate it into a practical analogy that you will never, ever forget. First up, hyper-personalization. This is all about creating a unique, tailored experience for every single user. It's that simple. So when you see a question about customizing content or product suggestions for one person, just think of your Netflix or Spotify homepage. It knows you, right? That's hyper-personalization. Next, conversational AI. This is basically any system that's designed to understand and respond to human language, whether it's written or spoken. The easiest example is that little customer service chatbot that pops up on a website, but it also includes your voice assistants, like Alexa or Siri. If it talks or texts back, it's conversational AI. Let's move on to recognition. This pattern is all about identifying things, images, sounds, text, you name it. The most common example is probably right in your pocket. Unlocking your phone with your face or your fingerprint? Yep, that's image recognition in action. Same goes for those apps that can identify a song that's playing in a room. Now for a really important one in the business world, patterns and anomalies. This is all about teaching an AI what's normal so it can spot what's weird. The classic example is your bank flagging a strange purchase on your credit card. The AI knows your typical spending pattern, and when a transaction just doesn't fit, it raises an alert. That's anomaly detection. On to predictive analytics. And this one is pretty much exactly what it sounds like. You're using historical data to make educated guesses about what's going to happen in the future. Businesses use this constantly. When a leadership team tries to forecast sales for the next quarter based on the last 5 years of data, they're using predictive analytics. Next up, we've got autonomous systems. Now this is where AI really moves from the digital world into the physical one. We're talking about systems that can sense their environment and act on their own to achieve goals. The absolute perfect example? A self-driving car navigating through traffic without any direct human control. And finally, we have goal-driven systems. These are AIs designed to find the best possible way to achieve a complex objective, all within a set of rules. Think about an AI playing a game like chess or Go. It's not just following commands, it's evaluating millions of possible moves to find the one that's most likely to lead to a win. All right, now that you've got the 7 patterns down, I want to share some insider knowledge with you. This is a big heads up about a really common pitfall that trips up even the most experienced PMPs when they take this exam. Okay, so here's the deal, and this is super important. Your PMP experience is a huge asset, but it can also be your biggest blind spot. If you don't consciously shift your mindset from a traditional project framework to an AI project framework, you are going to misinterpret the questions. It's almost guaranteed.
And this slide right here shows you the exact shift you have to make. On the left, that's the world you know and love as a PMP. Predictive projects, fixed plans, known risks. But on the right, that's the world of AI. It's adaptive. It is not about executing a perfect plan, it's about learning through experimentation. You start with a guess, a hypothesis, not a perfect blueprint. You have to expect unknown risks like data bias. Your whole plan is designed for continuous adjustment, not for rigid execution.
Okay, so we've covered the exam domains, the secret code of the 7 patterns, and the biggest trap you need to avoid. Now, let's put it all together into a clear, simple game plan to get you that pass on your first attempt.
Here it is, your 3-step plan. It's this simple. First, you've got to master those 7 AI patterns using the analogies we just talked about, really internalize them. Second, for every single question you read, you have to consciously ask yourself, is this a traditional problem or an AI problem? And then adopt that adaptive mindset. And third, and this is key, you have to test your knowledge with practice questions that are designed to feel just like the real exam.
And look, to nail that third step, theory just isn't enough. You have to apply what you've learned. You can find those realistic practice questions and full-length exam simulators that will help you master that adaptive mindset in the PM Accelerator course, which is available on Udemy.
I want to leave you with this one final thought. Getting this certification, it isn't just about learning new tech jargon. It's about recognizing that AI projects are fundamentally different. They go way beyond just code and models to impact the very core of a business, its processes, its people, and its most critical decisions. And mastering this is what will set you apart as a project leader in the age of AI.